The Huawei executive who was arrested will be back in court today for a bail hearing. China wants her released immediately and absolutely no extradition to the United States. Joining us now is David Mulroney, former Canadian ambassador to China. David, China has summoned their ambassadors from the US and Canada. We've got the bail hearing. China wants her back, no extradition. How does this play out in the trade talks?
Well, I think both China and the U.S., at the level of their trade negotiators, are desperately hoping that this will not derail their talks. For the U.S., I think trade negotiators want to keep it separate just because they're trade negotiators. For China, the added impetus is that when this deal was discussed between President Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping, it was President Xi himself who outlined the steps that China was willing to take. So he's invested his personal authority in this. Chinese are going to be very, very reluctant to see it undermined.
Does America have any influence about this bail hearing and whether or not she's extradited to the United States? I mean, I could see how America could throw an olive branch and say, OK, we don't want her back. Just let the Canadian authorities get on with it.
Well, America has two roles in this. First, in terms of the bail hearing, they're contributing their own thinking in terms of whether Madam Meng, the person who's been arrested, is a flight risk. They've reported that she has not traveled to the United States in the last 3 or 4 years, which would indicate that she's wary of U.S. sanctions and their repercussions, according to the American side. And then ultimately, it is the United States that has to contribute and make part of the case for extradition before Canadian authorities. So they are implicated in this. It would be, I think, colossally embarrassing to everybody if the U.S. now downed tools and said, well, you know, now that we think about it, she's not that interesting after all. This is a big step's been taken. Now,
as I understand it, intense negotiations between China and the U.S. are still taking place and will continue to take place for 90 days. Mr. Lighthizer says 90 days and your time's up. You don't get an agreement by the end of the 90-day period, and back go those 25% tariffs. Are you hopeful? I mean, how do you view these talks and the 90-day time period?
Well, I think everybody wants to be hopeful. But there is a connection with what's happening with Huawei, because at the heart of the allegations against Madam Meng and Huawei is that the company and China itself once again is acting as a free rider. They're free riding on the Iran sanctions in order to both make money by selling equipment to Iran, allegedly, and also so that China can score points in the developing world and with countries like Iran. At the heart of American confidence in this current negotiation, the trade negotiation, is that China is willing to be, in the words of Robert Zoellick long ago, a responsible stakeholder. So these two things have a connection at some level. I think it has to be resolved at some point if we're going to get to a better state of affairs.
It is a very big deal. A lot of folks don't necessarily understand Huawei's position in China, but it's a very big deal because they are the ultimate technology company in China, and the daughter of the founder has been arrested. That's like an earthquake in Chinese corporate politics, isn't it?
It's key. I mean, the Chinese story of rebuilding their economy and emerging as a global technology power is really the story of Huawei, which has been tremendously successful in places like New Zealand and Australia, the UK and Canada, and elsewhere in Europe. It's huge obviously in cell phone markets, but it's also huge in telecoms infrastructure. And Madam Meng is really she's a part of the corporate royalty in China. So it's a very, very big story, and it will be playing out precisely as these trade talks are taking place.
By the way, Mr. Ambassador, Japan's top 3 telecommunications companies, you're nodding your head, you know this, they're saying that they're not going to use Huawei technology. That's the top 3 telecoms in Japan. Big deal.
And Japan becomes the first country in Asia to make that move. Yep. In the West, Canada and Britain have been seen as outliers because they have had relatively more confidence in Huawei. Recently, the UK has shown a degree of queasiness, and they're now re-examining. They've said that Huawei will not play a part in developing the core of the new 5G technology. Canada has a decision on this that's only days or weeks away, and now it's coming with this significant cloud over Huawei that is unlikely to be dissipated before the Prime Minister of Canada has to make this decision.
What a story. Mr. Ambassador, thank you very much for joining us today. We do appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stuart.